Hello everyone, I'm sorry I've been away from the screen in the last couple of weeks as I've been very busy. But during these weeks I've had the opportunity to observe how much is important when we are speaking with people on a daily basis, or when we are sharing the little things that we know, when we are teaching, when we are trying to awaken the people that are in front of us, how big is important to speak the same language, which I don't mean an idiom, I don't mean the same way of communication from a grammar point of view, but I mean being able to say words that will be captured with the same meaning and the same level of understanding from the audience, from the other people that are in front of us. I'm saying that because when you decide to open up to a level of energy, that means that you are able to connect with a deeper understanding of the current reality, which is actually an imaginary reality, and a reality that before finding a word, before finding a label for objects, for every happenings, for everything, it basically doesn't exist. It's a reality that is emptiness, it's a void, it's a pure illusion, a pure projection of the mind. So when we are speaking with people that have not realized that actually there is a visible and an invisible world, which are, at the end of the day, they are the same things. They are just two sides of the same coin, and they are connected, but only admit the reality that can be seen, that can be touched, that can be perceived with the five senses, because the sixth sense maybe for them doesn't exist. Then it becomes very difficult to grab a deeper level of knowing, understanding, and sensing and feeling that there is much more. So if I can mention the words of the Greek philosopher Plato, he used to say that the human being was born in a black cave with hands and feet bound, and then of course it's up, it is still up to the man to decide, if to get free and come out to the cave and see that actually there is a full world outside the cave. The cave is of course the big cage, the big prison, the big cave of the mind, and on a larger scale also the big cave of the system, which is a symbol of the mind of the world, because it's not that we have my mind, your mind. There is the mind, which is the universal mind, which is ruled by the world of the matrix and the system. So when we consider that actually the freedom is in the palms of your hand, if we can mention again also Paponka Rinpoche, and admit that it's up to you to get free, it's up to you to go out of the cave and see that there is another world where you have the right and the opportunity to be free. But of course, for the majority of people, it's easier to stay in the comfort zone, where everything you follow the procedure, you follow what you have been said, you follow what the system is saying to you to do, which is of course in the interest of the system, in the interest of controlling you, in the interest of ruling you. So the system doesn't want you to be free. The system wants you to follow the rules that are based on the economy. So if you are in your own, if the system is able to convince you to remain in a state of fear, you will continue developing your own diseases, your own inner problems, which then externalize in diseases outside and in other issues. And that is great. You don't want to go out from the comfort zone. You are fine in staying over there. The system can control you. What can we say? Try again another life. Retry again when you feel a little bit more brave to come out. I understand that it requires courage, because what's outside can be scary, because it's simply something that you don't know. It requires to be courageous, to go on an adventure that is entirely unknown, while if you stay in the cave, 100% you're going to suffer. As Buddha used to say, grief is inevitable, but grief can be fixed, can be solved. Of course, Buddha said through meditation, and meditation doesn't mean sitting down cross legs. It means to go into a meditative, reflexive journey where you actually realize that there is much more, that there are different ways, and that the only way to deal with grief is passing through emotions. So there is no other way for which you can take a pill and that grief disappear. This is just a way of anesthetize the suffering in that moment, so pain can just be decreased in terms of level of intensity, but it will come back. It will represent itself if you don't go into a journey of going back to the roots, understanding actually what are the changes that you need to make and what is involved, not only on a physical level, because that is the last alarm, the last warning that is sent to you, so that then something is visible with your eyes, you can feel it, but the body is simply one of the vehicles for which your soul is trying to communicate with you, in your body, in your emotions, and in your mind. And by the time you identify yourself with the vehicle, so with the body or with your emotions, or even worse, with your mind, there is no way for which you can solve the grief. There is no way for which you can heal and feel better. You need to identify yourself with the soul. So you need to go onto a journey of discovery, of learning, of digging. And digging means going through and inside more darkness, because in order to see the light, you need to go inside and see the darkness. So that's why it's important that when we are speaking to people, people can at least start asking themselves, am I right? Am I in the right place? Or maybe there is something else. And a lot of people have started to awaken. The fact is that they started during the lockdown 2-3 years ago, but then some of them have been back to the so-called normality, the so-called place where things more controllable. Some others have stayed with one foot in, one foot out, and are still unable to cope because they have realized that there is something else, something different. So the only important matter is to sit down and decide to do the work instead of postponing, instead of placing patches, instead of keep complaining and victimize yourself that things are not working, because there is a solution for everything and everyone. It just takes time. For some people more, for some people less, but there is support from other people that are around you, support from the universe, so everything absolutely has a solution. Otherwise, if there is a problem, there is a solution. Otherwise, it's not a problem.